Some of you may have noticed that my Singer model 1588, when it sits in the treadle, is not quite all the way back on the hinges, and it sits on this upper part of the frame and not on a lip that's supposed to be here. So Bruce from Treadle On had noticed that and told me what was supposed to be there, and this treadle top was kind of one that was going to be thrown away. I do have two more old Singer tops. Neither one of them have the supports that are supposed to be here. So I am making some, and what I did, this is, it's a soft hardwood, it's basswood. I may recut pieces of birch if these don't seem strong enough. And what I've done is there were two holes in this part of the treadle top. One hole was right there and one hole was right there. And that would be where the original support should have screwed in with. So what I've done is I've taken two pieces of roughly 1.5 by probably 3.5 inches of basswood, and drilled 3 holes in the basswood and put the center screw in first, and then drilled further down into the original Singer wood to get these 2 screws in on each piece. So that is now my support for the machine, so the machine can shift back further on the hinges. Now you're wondering, why did I leave them so wide? Basswood isn't the strongest hardwood. It's a hardwood, but it's not, you know, it's a soft hardwood. I'm thinking if these don't hold, or if they appear to start to crack or something like that, I can put an L bracket on the back here, or 2, and further support these supports. So that's what they look like right now, and what I'm about to do is put the 1588 back in there and see if they hold. So that's a little scary. Now I have to find one. This is, I think, the length screw I used. So each screw is in there by just under 1/2 inch. And I'm hoping that's enough to hold a 30-pound machine along with the hinges in the back. So let me put the camera down and we'll try doing this, and we'll see if the machine falls through. Now, also Sharon had suggested wood glue between the 2 surfaces of wood. And I would do that, but I didn't want to put any glue on there yet until I'm sure this is going to hold. So if it looks like it's going to hold, I will unscrew these and put wood glue in between the 2 pieces of wood. Now I'm hoping this works, but I won't be surprised if it doesn't, because the machines are so heavy. Now my 1591 is in a Singer cabinet, and the 2 lip pieces that hold that up are very narrow. And I always wonder, why are they staying up? Why does that hold the machine? So there, it's all the way back. It's still hitting the top a little bit. Now the 237 also is supposed to go in this cabinet. And those are in the correct holes and everything. So the actual top of the treadle cabinet sticks out further than it should. So most of it is hitting the wood in the back, but not on the front. So I'm going to try the 237 in here and see if that fits any differently from the 1588. The bed on that was just slightly shorter, so I don't know if it's just a hair narrower. I don't know, and I don't know what machine was in this treadle top originally. So now, in a way, I don't know if I'm worse off now than I was, because it's only about 1/8 of an inch that it's sitting on the front, and if it slips and those two pieces of wood give way, then it would fall. But that's how I'm going ahead and putting those supports in there, and like I said, if I need to, I can put L brackets on the back of each piece to hold it more firmly in place. It's a little bit clunky looking, and it's certainly not a Singer style repair, but if it works, it'll be good. So I'll go ahead and try the 237, and little by little I will get this to both of my machines to sit in there correctly. Okay, let's try with the 237. This is the one from Michigan that had been dropped or thrown. Now this, there we go. Same thing. This edge of the lip is about 1/8 of an inch. But on the back, it's more or less almost hitting the wood. So now, I don't know if it's safer to leave it like this because it's only resting on 1/8 of an inch, or if it's better to have it resting on the table and slightly crooked. I could take those off and shave this down a hair, screw them back on. I have a carpenter's plane, so to do that I would just remove what I added on there, shave off a little bit of the original top here, and then put those supports back on. It's only 1/8 of an inch. So that'll be my choice. I either have the machines sit up on the actual lip, the tabletop, or I shave that off and have them sit down on supports. Success. What I did was I picked up the full front lip here and readjusted how this hinge is sitting there, and it pulled this back about 1/16 of an inch. It didn't pull it back the whole way I needed to go, but it pulled it back a little bit. And as you can see, I'm just making it by a hair, and the two pieces of wood are still offline, but I can get that machine in there just by a hair. And back here I have a little bit more space. And the 1588 went in there first, and when I put it in there, it slid right in on the hinges and sat right on the two pieces of wood. So here is the 237. Now this is a very fast machine when I have the motor on it, and I had put it in the treadle the other day, then I took it out again, and I actually sewed a quilt with it. It sews beautifully, but now I've got it in the treadle, and in the meantime I've adjusted the treadle quite a bit. Now, using the spring coil belt, I do get like a 0 point And the starting of the treadling is a little bit different than the other machine. Very, very quiet machine now. Not as fast as with the motor, but I'm not sure that's a big issue. Of course, now I'm completely worried that my screws aren't going to hold that. So what I'm going to do is take them back off and put the wood glue in between, and maybe even put wood glue on the tips of the screws so that when they go into the older Singer wood, they're going to bond with it. And I'm going to dig up some L brackets, I think, and put them on there. So the machines will have to come back out again while I secure that better. But this is now the 237 in the treadle. And you don't hear the whining of the belt because I adjusted the rear belt guide. And it's really as fast as my legs can go, which are not as fast as a motor, but it's a wonderful sewing machine, and now it's in my treadle.